that was a fast connection, Rod.
Is PKJ Rod using EchoLink tonight?
I'm not sure. I'm going to take a short delay here, stop, and listen up for him. Rod, you RF or you EchoLink?
I think he's here yet. It's a distinctive little thing. I didn't hear it yet.
Well, could have been someone else transmitting at the same time that they were keying up, and yeah, I heard them. How we acoustically got coupled over here,
hey,
or
what's going on?
That was actually him or what? But
so this is an anti-net we've been doing for the last couple weeks, and I haven't been putting it out public. So this will be the first time I'm trying to do a live stream from the radio. It should be pretty interesting. It's going to be all about preparation. You know, are you ready for the lights to go out, for the ground to shake, for a flood, what have you? So so stay tuned and listen up. Thanks.
It's Whiskey 6 Charlie Romeo Papa, tonight's coordinator for the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. I want to thank the owners and supporters of the W6 VVR repeater and the Vaca Valley Radio Club for the use of the repeater. If at any time during the Anti-Net there's priority traffic, just let us know and we'll clear the frequency. Is there any priority traffic at this time? All right, the 2 Meter Crew is not a club. We're just a bunch of hams that are out there learning and enjoying ham radio and continuing to learn. If you want to learn more about the crew, you can go to our website, the number 2metercrew.com, or visit the Facebook site, which is the number 2MC, for more info. This is an open net and everyone is welcome. Please feel free to participate and join in. The 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net meets every Wednesday at 7 o'clock on the W6 VVR repeater, which is 145.470, negative offset of 600 kilohertz, and a PL of 127.3 hertz. I'll take check-ins now. Give me a minute to write them down and verify with you. I'll take them one at a time. Who's going to check in?
Kilo Golf 6 Alpha Echo Bravo. Marcus checking in.
And Marcus, you are booming in loud and clear. You down this way, or did you get your antenna set up?
Oh, I'm down this way. I've been here all week until things get rolling up north. I'm going to be down here working.
Very good. Who's next?
Kilo 6, Charlie Whiskey, Sierra, Cliff, no traffic.
From, well, you know where. Good evening.
Kilo 6, CWS, Cliff, I gotcha. And was that you in the background, Michael?
Sorry if I doubled up, my bad. Like double, in and out. KN6BX again, Carlos, good evening. Thanks for the nets. Looking forward to listening.
All right, Michael, thanks for checking in. And who's next?
E7CD Mobile, Folsom.
Whiskey Alpha 6, Papa Kilo Juliet.
WA6, PKJ, gotcha. And TJ, K7CD, gotcha also, thanks. Who's next?
KM6 FAK.
How the heck did he squeak in here?
Jason, how are you doing? And who's next?
AM6 is ETH.
And WU1Q, North Bay, no traffic. Good evening, y'all.
Justin, I got you, KM6 ZTH. And Mitch, WU1Q. Who else checking in?
6YKX.
Thank you, Robbie. Who else?
WB6WYF, Mike.
WB6WYS, Mike, thanks for checking in. Who's next?
N6SMH, this is Scott.
N6SMH, Scott, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Who's next?
KN6DAL, Nick and Everett.
KN6DAL. Awesome. Thanks for checking in. And we'll give you a minute, some time here in a minute to catch us all up. Good to hear from you. Who's next?
KM6TAX.
Good evening, Ted. Who's next?
Drew.
I caught Andrew, but I think I may have doubled up with you. What was the call sign again?
KI5FME.
KI5FME. Andrew, thanks for checking in.
Earlier or not, the repeater dropped out on me on mobile K7CD. Good evening.
Yeah, K7CD. I caught you, TJ. Thanks. Anybody else checking in?
WG5EEK, Mike.
Good evening, Mike. Who else is checking in?
And thanks. DTR Dana.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? So this happens every Wednesday night. It's a TechNet.
N6
We call it an anti-net.
DTR.
Everyone just
Gotcha,
throws
Dana.
their call.
Thank
They
you.
say hello.
Who else is checking in?
If you have EchoLink, join us. WG5EEK. You can jump in, say hello. Here in a little bit, we're going to be getting to a prepper net, if you will. We're going to be talking about
Somebody just popping the squelch.
lights go out
But I
either
didn't
by
hear
your
anything.
utility company,
Come
which is
again.
now a
Who's
thing
checking
here in
in?
California. Maybe the ground shakes, a flood, what have you. Are you
Ellie.
ready? How much batteries do you need? How long can you operate your radio? Food, supplies, what have you. Anyways, it should be pretty good.
Josh, got
We've been doing it for a little bit.
Who else is
This
checking
is
in?
the first time I hit the public button. I normally put these
KM6MRU,
out
Chris
as,
here in Benicia.
as unlisted. All right, let's get back to it.
All right, Chris, thanks for checking in. Who else is coming in?
KK6OVH.
KK6OVH. You gotcha. Anybody else checking in tonight?
Good evening, Evanet. This is Dan. Kilo Foxtrot 6, Hotel in Woodland.
Hey, thank you, Dan. KF6, HHH, gotcha. Anyone else checking in? Station, I just heard noise on that one. I didn't get any audible. Maybe try again when you're in a clear spot, or did somebody else catch that?
Quebec Delta.
I just heard the very tail end of that, Quebec Delta. One more time with the call sign, please.
Kilo 6, Romeo, Quebec Delta.
K6 RQD is what I got. Hope that's it. It's a little broken, but I think you're coming in.
That's Kilo 6,
Romeo, Quebec, Delta.
Ed.
Oh, my bad. I think I keep doubling with you. I think it's KK6 RQD. I do believe I have you in the old roster. I'll look it up to make sure. Who's next? Who else is checking in?
KG6 CXI Chris, Nevada County, Grass Valley.
KG6 CXI Chris, thanks for checking in. Anybody else out there?
KG5 TON Tony, Louisiana.
Wow, now that's calling in from out there a little bit. KG5 TON. Welcome aboard. WA6PKJ. Any updates on our website or anything interesting?
No new websites, but since we are showcasing Jason's YouTube channel, he's put up the video for the winter field days. So if anybody heard about that last week and are interested to see some video about what was going on and what some of these hams look like and what they were up to, then they could go up to the website at 2metercrew.com and check that out. Thank you.
All right, Rodney, thanks for that. And I didn't hear Derek check in. Did you make it yet, K6 DJB?
Yeah, I see that too, Mike. I think my microphone's still hot.
But there's always
that is interesting. I'll have to bring that up to the repeater owner.
And
very cool. I wish I could get that
go to the Facebook site, which is the number
that
2
white out of there on the waterfall.
MC, and check out all the
Guess
stuff
I should have got a
posted there from the 2 Meter Crew. And Derek also has a YouTube site.
Hey, nice job, Tony. I heard you in there.
Which is 2 Meter Crew. I believe we'll get you there. Any other DXing reports or anything planned? Anybody doing any simplex work or anything else interesting? How about any 2 Meter Crew events? I know I had talked about putting together another breakfast here pretty soon. And so I'll probably be looking for a date. I'm looking at my calendar right now. Maybe the last weekend in February. So maybe looking around the 29th for a breakfast here locally. I'll get something posted up on the 2 Meter Crew website and also on Facebook. Any comments about the date? All right, I'm going to cycle back through and give folks a chance to update us a little bit, let us know what's going on, and ask any questions if you got them. Marcus, KG6AEB, how you doing?
I'm good, Carlos, thank you. Let's see, updates. Last weekend, the family and I moved up to Red Bluff. Yeah, packed everything up Friday and Saturday and headed up Saturday evening. Spent Sunday unpacking and organizing things throughout the house and watched the Super Bowl, tough loss, and let it drop. We had one job up north on Monday morning and made our way back down here to the Bay Area for work throughout the week, and that's what it's going to be looking like for, I don't know, say a month or two. Is I'm going to be up north on the weekends and down here working throughout the week. KG6AB. Back to you, Carlos.
Hey, well, good to hear the move. You got the move made and everybody up that way, so Good deal. And any luck putting your antenna up that way?
Nothing set yet. I know the weekend of winter field day I threw something up in the air and I broke squelch, but not enough power. So gotta find more power and then we'll get something up permanently.
All right, sounds good, Marcus. All right, let's see. K6 CWS, Cliff. How are you doing?
Finally making it to Fairfield. Traffic after our calls, but no traffic.
All right, Cliff, thanks for checking in. KN6BXX, Michael from Carmichael.
Nothing to report myself. It's always great to be on this net for sure. The only thing I could promote is the 2-meter cruise. I mean, not 2-meter cruise. My home club, North Hills Radio Club. We do the Elmer net every night at 8 p.m. K6IS 14519. But the one thing that for our Simplex fans who are in Northern California, like Rob and myself, they do end of the month Simplex test. Usually last Monday around a little after 8 o'clock when we check people in. Again, we switch over to 14652 and people enjoy it. They call in and kind of analyze each other's reception. So it's something to check out. Again, keeping 2-meter Simplex alive. That's it for me, good gentlemen. Have a great night. Listening. Back to you, Carlos, KN6BXX.
All right, Michael, thanks. And K7CD, TJ, how are you doing? All right. Let's see. Rodney, did you have anything else to update folks on WA6PKJ?
One thing, I do have one thing. It's about a 2-meter crew event that people have been talking about. We're kind of in the early stage of planning, but this summer we're going to have hold a camp-out event, so kind of a multi-day deal, someplace east of Auburn up in the Sierra foothills. And we're going to be playing around with the radios. There's water there, so there's going to be some kayaking, radios. Some of us are going to look for gold.
My wife just came
metal
home.
detectors.
I'm in the garage.
A bunch of other activities. So if you didn't get a chance to make it up to the winter field day to have some fun this summer after the mosquitoes evacuate, that's one of the things that's on tap. And as more details become available, we'll certainly put those out in the normal places. Thanks, Carlos.
All right, well, thanks for the update. That'll be a nice event to get on the calendar there. Thank you much. And let's see, K6, FAK, Jason.
Let me get I turned down my audio there. Wife just came home. Yes, what's happening? KM6FAK. So not too much going on, although I will say normally I live stream this unlisted. So what that means is people out there in the world can't see it without the link. So tonight we went live, and if you've noticed, I put the EchoLink information on the screen, and that's kind of, I think, where we've gotten Tony checked in from Louisiana. Don't mind my wife; she just came home. And anyways, way cool. Enough is enough. Rob, we're looking forward to your prep net here in a few. KM6FAK.
Yeah, thanks for the update, Jason. And yeah, it's kind of cool. We're getting folks from all over the place dropping in. Good to have you. Let's see who is next. KM6ZTH, Justin.
A whole lot going on. Finally got a radio installed in the other car today, so that is a great feeling of accomplishment. And other than that, looking forward to breakfast hopefully soon, and that camp out sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I'm thinking that February 29th date, and I'll look to see where we're going to do it. We were up Davis way last time, so probably back down this way. I know folks were a little leery of doing it in Vallejo again, but I'll find something down around this area. Let's see, who's next? WU1Q Mitch.
Well, good evening, everybody. This is Mitch, WU1Q, out here in the North Bay. I got to tell you, I just want to just quickly tether off of what Rod said and about the, in the early stages, not that I have anything to do with it, but I am super excited to participate. And if I could promise y'all, if any of you guys are on the fence about participating with these guys, I highly recommend, based on what I saw up on the winter field day, when the weather's even better, out in an environment like looking for gold, playing with your radios, and there's water around, absolutely nothing but trouble we can get into. But the trouble's going to be a whole lot of fun, and for that, I really look forward to it. And I just want to mention again, I had a blast with every one of y'all out there on 2-meter crew, and everybody from all around who came from as far as Reno, from what I understand. And for that, I'm super excited about this summer event coming up. With that, Carlos, absolute blast hanging out with you on top of the hill. You are the coolest around. And I don't know a Nick. I don't know a N6VAL. It appears his call sign doesn't show up in the California database any longer. To me, he's dead. Nick, I love you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Carlos, sir, back to you, and thanks for doing the net. And good evening, all. That's about all I got.
All right, he's dead to me. Now he's starting the northern chapter. KM6, YKX, Robbie, any notes? I know you're going to tell us a little bit about ICE communications later on, but anything else to update?
Just trucking along here, you know, kind of in between cool events and stuff, and just working. So nothing for the net.
All right, WB6, WIS, Mike.
Good evening, all. WB6 WYF, as in Frank. I have nothing. Just sit here and enjoying.
All right, I got that corrected here. WYF. Thank you. And N6 SMH, Scott.
No major developments in the ham space. I'm just trying to work on my CW casually. And I did hear of a
What's happening,
Loomis
everyone?
Ham Fest that's happening.
We'll get through the check-ins here in a few.
In the Loomis Historic Train
it should
Depot
be
in
be a lot of fun.
California. That's on March 21st.
Drop a comment
7 a.m. to
if
noon.
you want to get a question.
Again, March 21st, 7 a.m. noon, out in the Loomis Historic Train Depot.
We'll see how this goes, like I mentioned.
By, Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club.
Sorry, I'm doubling.
Yeah, cool. And I think I saw that Rodney posted that on the webpage also. So if you guys are looking for a calendar to pop stuff like that, where everybody can reference the 2-meter crew website. Thanks for the update, Scott. And KM6DAL.
Hey, thanks for doing the net, Carlos. Hello, everybody. Made the move. Everything turned out good. I got a temporary roll-up J-pole set up at the house right now. It's been kind of crazy with boxes and everything, but yeah, it's good. Love the store I'm at. Integrating with the crew really well. I'm glad to hear that winter field day went really well. I was thinking this whole time while you were waiting to call on me how I was going to fire back on Mitch, but I'm actually kind of excited. Hopefully my address went through on ARL, because I submitted that, and I'm waiting for it to say, because every time I say my call sign out here on a repeater, people don't get it right because they don't recognize the style of call because it's from a different state. So there's a lot of active repeaters out here, and I'm touching on all of them kind of in the 50, 60-mile radius right now, and just kind of learning the groups. There's a lot of simplex nets and stuff, so it's been going good, and I'm just sort of listening more than I'm talking, because I'm kind of learning the lay of the land. Everybody is
everybody has different approaches geographically on like how they communicate on nets and how they communicate, with each other. So it's interesting to see the differences from area to area. So good to be here. I'll just listen in. KN6DAL.
Well, very good to hear from our original 2MC crew. Glad you're doing good, Nick. KM6TAX, Ted.
W1FRT, Fred here. I don't hear anything on EchoLink besides that Ted didn't answer.
Carlos, you lose your batteries on your HT or what?
All right, am I getting out here? Let's try that again. WG5EEK Mike.
Hey, welcome back, Carlos. This is WG5EK.
I don't know what happened.
The only things I really worked on this week is we got the Vacaville Fusion repeater up and running. I had to open some ports. Helped Brian and Kevin out doing that, and we're working on the official W6VVR AllStar node, and it'll be up and running with EchoLink soon. And just been playing around with my node that I have and stuff like that. So that's what I've been doing, just trying to help out and make things better around here. That's all I got. WG5EEK.
Hey, Carlos, sorry I bumped the VFO knob.
Transmitting for a second. I'm going to back up real quick and just double check. KI5FME, did you have anything for the net?
No, I appreciate this is like first time contacting anybody over any amateur system, kind of in a radio dead zone, but I'm working on it. Anyway, I just appreciate being here and being able to take part in something amateur radio, so thanks a lot. Kilo India 5, Foxtrot Mike Echo.
No, thank you for checking in. We really appreciate it there, Andrew. And let's see, N6 DTR Dana.
Break.
Hang on, break. One more time, I think he was on EchoLink. N6 DTR Dana. I'll give you a second to key up. All right, I believe that was you, Ted, KM6TAX.
Yeah, sorry about that, Carlos. I bumped the darn VFO knob here. I was talking away, and then I unkeyed and heard Jason come back saying something about your batteries dying. Anyway, I was saying, yeah, I'm excited for the summer events, and that some of the places that we're talking about, the White Mountain Peak, I think you can drive to. Mount Whitney, I might want to hike up it, and Mount Shasta, we might have another guy walking up there, hiking up that. So we'll see. Should be fun. KM6TAX.
Yeah, perfect. Now's the time to start laying out all the summer plans. Sounds good. Get some sodas going on. All right, who do we have next? KM6 LEE, or actually I think it's K6 LEE. Josh.
Hey, Carlos, I'm not sure. Am I making it all right to the box? It's W6LEE.
Sorry, man. I got a lot of numbers and letters to remember here. Gotcha, W6LEE, and you're making it fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, no sweat. Nope, nothing super new or any great news, but doing a little bit of organization. Other than that, just enjoying it. So, but I'm excited to hear Rob talk tonight.
Yes, indeed. KM6MRU, Chris.
Correct, W6LEE. He did have something very exciting going on. He bought a new linear amplifier for HF operations. Thank you.
You guys up there on that winter field day, I did make it through on 2 meters and 10 meters, and it sounds like you guys really had a good time, and that's pretty cool. So, yeah, just looking forward to Rob's little presentation here, and that's about it. So, KM6MRU, back to you there, Carlos.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I know I did have a good time up there. That was my first contesting, and I sat down at the 2-meter table for a while. They were coming hot and heavy. I couldn't even keep up. Finally, Cliff, K6CWS, joined me, and we were able to make a good amount of contacts there for a little bit. But thanks for checking in. KK6OBH.
This is Darv, the Mushroom Man in Sebastopol. I can't work the Vacaville repeater from my house in Sebastopol, so I'm coming in on EchoLink. The only thing in radio this week is a nice contact south of the equator to the Cook Islands on 15 meters. Back to net, KK6OVH.
Very nice. Yeah, good contact, man. I know I'm just starting to stretch my legs a little bit in the HF world, and a couple of long-distance ones for me, probably nothing to you guys, but I did hit Japan, and it's getting exciting, getting things kind of cleared out where they're making sense to me here. So all fun. All right, let's see, KF6HHH, Dan.
Good evening, that. Nothing going on. I basically checked into the last part of your net last week, searched for you and found you this week. Just kind of fun finding another net on the air. But the only other stuff I got going on is I ordered a brand new HT. It came in, it was broken. I sent it back, got another one. It worked out fine, and it's broken now too, as far as I can tell. So I've had it.
Who's it made by?
Probably have to send it in to get fixed. So not starting out the year very good. KF6 Triple H.
Oh, that's no good. Yeah, not good luck there at all. Well, hopefully they get it repaired for you. KK6 RQD Ed.
Oh, we got to ask that guy what HT that was.
Well, good evening, KK6RQD. Just to piggyback off what WG5EEK was saying, been involved in doing some AllStar testing and some Fusion connectivity testing this week.
This guy's coming in over AllStar, just FYI.
Really good right now. Over.
Yeah, cool. I haven't delved out into that myself, but I know the back of the valley.
I am still sitting here. If you're curious, the mic is hot. It's like, what was that show where you would watch the movie with the heads and they would commentate? Anyways, let me know what you think, if you like this form or not. Otherwise,
do so. It's working great.
I don't want to leave this on in case I pick my nose. I might forget. Just kidding.
Okay, good deal. Merlin,
Oh.
Oregon. We are really stretching out our footprint. That's kind of cool. I enjoy it. We've got a Louisiana. I don't know if he's still on here, but I'm looking forward to touching base with him here in a second also. So thanks for checking in.
I forgot to turn it on. Oh, jeez.
Let's move on to KG6CXI, Chris.
Sorry, I was
eating dinner. So let's see. I haven't really been doing a whole lot. I opened up a text for the general class exam and did a little planning.
What's wrong with my lighting?
Through that. Simplex, I just on the 2-meter 520 heard from an instructor whose class I ended up getting licensed through. He's local, so that was kind of a surprise to hear him. And let's see, I haven't really, I've been listening to how Fusion is being set up, and so I've been going through my WiresX software help section, checking out how I've been, how I have things set up and what might need to be corrected to make things work a little better and so on. Haven't really done much in the way of DX. I just listened to out of Colorado and noticed that, hearing folks chat on the air, I did some listening to people that were trying to work 80 meters or whatever else, and heard the station out in Colorado, and that it was, going through most of the day, which was a surprise to me. So, but I haven't really been on the air with Morse code or anything. So, Kilo Golf 6, Charlie X-Ray India, back over to net control.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you for the updates. Sounds like you're staying busy. All right, KG5TON from Louisiana. Hope you're still there. How are you doing?
Hey, Carlos. Jason at KM6FAK. He left the door open tonight. I'm in Southwest Louisiana in the Echo Lima 39 grid square talking on an iPhone. But I just wanted to say thanks for calling the net, Carlos. I have no traffic. I'm kind of mic shy on EchoLink. So y'all have a good evening from KG5TON, Tony in Abbeville, Louisiana.
Well, Tony, I appreciate you checking in. It's always cool and interesting to get some a little bit of long-distance check-ins on the net, so keep checking back in. We appreciate having you. All right, KM6WNU.
Great to hear you, Tony. Right on.
All right, and I heard Fred out there, W1FRD. Are you still with us? Okay, any other late check-ins or comments?
This is KX4EMT
Yeah, I have a
from
quick comment.
Knoxville, Tennessee. I'll check in with you. Over.
I'd like to say that W6LEE was sandbagging. He did have something very exciting happening to him this week. He bought a not a brand new, but he bought a new to him.
I heard you in there, Tennessee.
Linear amplifier, SB200, for his new HF station. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Joshua. It sounds like a nice person. You're going to get up on HF and hit it with some power, huh?
Yes, everybody was making fun of my QRP rig, so then we are QRO. W6LE.
Very cool. And another station checking in there. Heard you, KX4EMT. Thank you for checking in. What else is new with you?
That's KX4EMT. My name is Daryl from Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm new to EchoLink, and I'm on my Android phone and just trying to figure out what all this thing's going to do. So I appreciate listening in, and I didn't want to be interruptive or anything, but I'll turn it back over and listen.
Not at all.
Very cool, Daryl. And I appreciate you checking in from Tennessee. And just for your information, you were absolutely clear and good audible quality. Anybody else check in, late or otherwise?
KM6ACK, Daryl Allen, Roseville, good evening.
KM6ACK. How are you doing tonight?
Fantastic. Just taking it at home. Got home late, thought I'd drop in and say hi. So here I am.
All right, we appreciate it. Any other late check-ins?
Loom 6VLF.
Hey, good evening, Kevin. You got a quick update for us? I'm going to get to our topic here in just a second. A lot of check-ins tonight. It's pretty cool. Go ahead, Kevin.
Not doing much, just hanging out, working on my VLF node. Almost got it up, changing all of the passwords and all that junk, blah, blah, blah. But I'm very pleased to hear all the folks checking in on EchoLink, and it's great. You're all welcome to join us. It's really nice when we can reach out and involve other individuals and learn what they're doing and share experiences. And we're going to get our AllStar number out there real soon. Talk to everybody later. This is fun. N6VLF in Fairfield. Back to you, Carlos.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Well, we got Robbie, the Auburn assassin, who tonight is going to have our topic. He had something he was kind of interested in and was going to share with us. So, KM6YKX, first of all, I appreciate you stepping up and giving us the topic, giving me a little relief. And the floor is yours, sir.
Well, I'm going to preface it with, you know this is going to be a ramble because it's me, and I'll try to drop some breaks. And, you know, I kind of wrote some stuff down in a nice little outline, and then I wrote all over the outline, so it's a little messy. But it started because we were talking about, well, actually because I saw a video, and I want to, you know, give credit to the man who kind of got me going on this train of thought, and that is a guy named Alan Thompson, Whiskey 6, Whiskey November, and he's a local ham here with our local club, Whiskey 6, Echo Kilo, who is hosting the Loomis Ham Fest on March 21st. Anyway, he was one of the first responders to the campfire. He did a really interesting video about that as they were trying to restore communications because everything went completely down. The cell networks went down, the police and fire networks went down because everything was up on the poles. So the only thing that worked was ham radio. And so he's done a second video now, and you can find it either on the Whiskey 6 Echo Kilo website under videos, or you can just look them up on YouTube. Alan Thompson, Whiskey 6, Whiskey November, and the campfire, and the other one's called Radio for the Rest of Us. And then was asked to kind of expand it a little bit more, so here we go. So this topic is called ICE, in case of emergency. ICE is an acronym for, you know, probably heard it for put it in your refrigerator or whatever, but it's all about having a plan. And also, as I ramble through this, Jason, KM6FAK, is recording it on Ham TV, YouTube, Ham TV, and
Ham Radio.
So you can go
Love you, Rob.
revisit it there if you want to. All right, so in expanding this, it's interesting to think about the 4 stages of, you know, emergencies. And, you know, there were, as I kind of looked into it, there's more than I was thinking about. So the first one is mitigation, which is preparing, prevention, not preparation, but prevention, like clearing brush and having good homeowners insurance or renter's insurance. And that's something you can do before to, you know, cut your losses. Then there's preparation. You know, plans and preparations to deal with the emergency, like stocking food and water and a camp stove and medical supplies and batteries and ice and communications and things like that. So you got to have that all lined out before stuff happens. And then there's response, which is, okay, It's going down. What do I do? Putting the plans into action. Do you run? Do you hide? Do you fight? Flee? Do you shelter in place? And, you know, every situation is going to be different. And then there's recovery, getting back to it. All right, so prepping. I'm going to let it drop periodically. Drop. And all this is kind of like, you know, I'm going to cover a bunch of prepper stuff, but it's going to come back to the radio thing at the end. All right, do you have a plan for you and your family? Do you and your family know what to do? You know, do you have a plan? Should you stay or should you go? You need to prep for both scenarios. If you're going to stay, how much water do you need? Who knows that, right? 1 gallon per person per day minimum. You need food, you know, ideally ready to eat, or an extended food. You can get a 170 meal bucket. I was looking today, 170 meal bucket for a little over $100. You know, but how are you gonna cook on it? You know, honey lasts forever. You want beer and wine and whiskey to go with that, you know? That's something to think about. What about pet food, foil, camping supplies, you know, all that kind of stuff, depending on how long it's going to last. Something that's always overlooked, you know, everybody's like first aid, but what about hygiene, soap, and toilet paper wipes, or bleach, you know? Bleach will clean water, too. You can take old water and make it good enough to drink with bleach. What about feminine products and diapers and things like that? Because, you know, I mean, this is a nasty thing to think about, but if electricity goes out, the sewers and stuff may stop working, and you cannot keep pooping in the toilet. So you're going to have an alternative. It could be a Home Depot bucket with kitty litter, or you got to go dig a hole outside. So you just need to understand that, because hygiene, coronavirus, you know, people will get sick and they'll start spreading.
Way to keep it relevant, Rob.
All that kind of stuff. Toothpaste. Maybe now we need to get respirators and stuff. Do you live near a train track? I do. It's not super close, but it's the Transcontinental Railroad, and they're hauling tanker cars of gaseous material that, you know, like chlorine gas and stuff like that. So, yeah, weird me. I actually have some respirators, but they're not nearby right now, so bad on me. You know, because if there's a gas cloud, I mean, it's happened before. Bhopal, Texas, other places. Anyway, just saying. What about flashlights and things like that? You know, stuff to trade, duct tape, fire starters, appropriate clothing, cordage, DEET, you know, sunscreen, all kinds of things like that. All right, communications, all types, but how are you going to power it? And, you know, we're still in the shelter-in-place thing. Communications, energy management. You know, I just went through this last summer. Not everybody did, but it was pretty gnarly. I was out for like 5-6 days at a time, and having to run a generator and charge stuff up. And how do you fuel the generators? I didn't have to tap into it, but I happen to have a boat, like a, you know, family ski boat kind of thing. And I was like, well, I've got 30 gallons of gas in that I could tap into if I need it. Do you have a list of your appliance loads if you're running a generator? Because all the loads are different, you know, for the different devices, and so you got to be able to manage that. It's a big deal. All right, moving on. Cache. Do you have cache? Because, you know, if the power's down, the Zon machines or the, you know, point-of-sale machines are going to be out. So, you know, if you need to buy stuff, you might need some cache. So maybe think about cache. Something that may be controversial to some people, but weapons and ammo, you know, because when things go sideways, people go sideways. So, you know, what kind of weapons do you have, depending on where you are and everything? I mean, you're not going to be like a, you know, dude with a combat load, but, you know, if you're having to get from point A to point B, what's your plan? I mean, it could be as simple as pepper spray or whatever, you know. at your house or still on stay. I mean, most people have some kind of defensive thing you got to worry about as it goes on. Generator noise or lights or food smells and things like that might be an attraction. So there's that. All right, what if you have to go? It's the same as above, but in a go kit, so it may have to be smaller, may need to be more weather related, like if it's rainy, or, you know, like you got to put your family in the car and go. Do you have, you know, some blankets to wrap yourselves in, and, you know, a tent or fire starter or writing supplies, you know? I mean, and how much can you carry, depending on how much time you have to get ready to go? All right, drop. So do you have a list? This is where it gets important. And this is pretty simple, too, because so there was a big fire around here a couple years ago, and everybody was running away, and I saw couches and TVs on trailers, and I was like, oh boy, you guys should have insurance, and you guys should leave that behind, and you should only bring what you need to bring, because you got to be in front of the crowd on that kind of thing. The campfire was a perfect lesson of that. Different emergencies, different items, but do you have a list? Is your gas tank at least half full? You have to leave early and beat the crowd. I mean, if you go look at Alan Thompson's campfire video, I mean, that is a thing. There were like 6-8 hours for people to try to get down the hill and get out of there. It was gnarly, and that's why people had to abandon their cars and run. All right. So what about a get-home scenario? You know, some of us have talked about this. You know, you're at work, and you have to get home because there's an earthquake or a power outage or whatever. Does your vehicle have a small kit? Who carries a small kit in their car? Do you have, like, some basic supplies? Like a little bit of water, a little bit of food, a little bit of, you know, whatever you think you need. I can't tell you what that's going to be for you. It could be a fold-up bicycle. It could be a better pair of shoes if you wear fancy dress shoes. You know, water, food, warmth, flashlight, communications. We'll get to that in just a second. Cash, a defensive weapon of some kind, a paper map, a compass, a portable radio. You know, and does your family know the plan? What if they're at work? What if your wife is at work and you're at work and you're like, okay, we got to get from here to there, and you know, does the daycare know? Are you gonna like? Do they? I'm assuming they'll hold on to the kids. They're not gonna like turn them loose. But how are you gonna get there? You're gonna let it drop and give it a breath in case there's any traffic.
Doing great, Rob. Nice job, buddy.
So how do you contact them? What is the backup plan if the comms don't work? Do you have a plan? Do you meet at home, or do you go get them, or who's responsible for what? So, you know, I know it's a lot to think about, but it's stuff to think about. All right, now we're into the communications. And this is the interesting thing. The power outages and the campfire thing got me thinking about this quite a bit, and it got Alan Thompson thinking about it quite a bit too. And so here we go. Cell phones are ubiquitous, okay? We take them for granted. Everything is wireless now, and AT&T has been pushing to get rid of copper, which, you know, for those of us that were in the industry back in the day, that was called POTS lines, plain old telephone service. And I just read this week that AT&T is laying off like 10,000 people nationwide on the POTS, and they're all going wireless and streaming video and stuff. They're trying to turn into a media company. So that's an issue. So the problem is that wireless is fragile and saturates easy. What does that mean? The wireless is dependent on all these little cell towers that don't usually and are not required to have generator backups. And if they have battery backups, the battery backups only last for a couple hours, and the ones that are robust last for 72 hours. And again, during the PSP, we were out for up to 6 days at a time, and that happened, I don't even remember how many times. It was 245 hours total. And, you know, if you think it can't happen to you, think again. And, it's funny because all this stuff has been focused on rural, and there's no reason that that urban couldn't be just as affected by some other event or something. So, and it could be even more crazy in a urban environment. So, here's another part about the wireless system. It's only designed to handle a small percentage of the total subscribers at any one time. It's like a health club. If everybody showed up at the same time, it wouldn't work.
Hey, Ralph, real quick, can you give us more power? Sorry to interrupt. KM6FAK.
Okay, yeah, I can. It'll take me just a second to switch radios.
Oh, okay, not a big deal. You're just crackling just a little bit. I'm being picky. Don't worry about it. Well, thanks. I killed it, everyone. Was other people hearing that as well?
Oh, heck yeah. He was trying to make your video sound crappy. I heard it. Rob, stop it.
All right, how's that? Am I better now?
Nice and strong, but compressed. Goat head.
Well, I can turn the compression down now, too, so you got me all going.
Off the processor.
Rob, you're doing fantastic. And by the way, I got 2 photos of you up here on YouTube. Continue, please.
All right, so the saturation thing is a major thing. Am I good?
Beautiful.
All right, so the saturation thing is a major problem, and in an emergency, there's like this giant communications breakdown, and again, we got to go back to radio. It's the only thing that matters. So, that's the thing. So, but how hard is it to get your wife or your friends or your family that aren't hams onto get them onto radio? People are intimidated by ham radio. It takes a test, it takes knowledge, and, like the first time you key up and maybe somebody comes back, hey, so it's very intimidating. So I can see why that is. So what are our choices? Choices are CB, FRS, MERS, GRMS, or ham. Okay? So the CB is 4 watts, unless you're Derek. 11 meters, no license, low power, short range, unless you're Derek. Okay, there's MERS, which is, like a 2-meter type thing. No license, 2 watts, detachable antenna is allowed. You've got FRS, which is a UHF band. No detachable antenna is allowed. 2 watts on some frequencies, or 0.5 watts, which is really low, depending on the channel. No license, it's low power, it's short range. It shares some frequencies with GRMS. So how about GRMS? Let's look at that. It's a UHF, frequency, allows a detachable antenna, and depending on channel, there's different, power settings that you're allowed to have. 50 watts is allowed on some channels. 8 50-watt simplex channels and 8 50-watt repeater channels. There's a license required, but the license, which is $70 for 10 years, covers your whole family. And, you could, extend that out. It covers your mom, your dad, your son, your daughter, your, who knows, your cousin, I don't know. But you could stretch that out if you wanted to. And, but the main thing is 50 watts and repeaters. So there's mobile units, there's detachable antennas allowed, so you could take your HT and put a mag mount on your roof or something, roof of your car, roof of your house, whatever. And there's repeaters. There's actually repeaters around.
How do you spell roof?
I was looking. There's a list on Repeater Book. I'm not sure how updated that is. There's a My GRMS site that shows repeaters, and I think it's much smaller than ham, but
You know, I found repeaters in Auburn, Napa, Mount Vaca, Folsom, Oakland, Sebastopol, Mount Diablo, Red Bluff, etc. Sometimes there's, you know, memberships required or donations. So mygrms.com, repeater book. You know, mygrms had contact information to give permission to use it. You know, like there was an email address you could click on to like, hey, what do I need to do to start talking on this repeater? And the simple licensing covers the whole family. I mean, that's the thing, because as I have tried to talk people into ham radio, that has been the hurdle. They're afraid of the test. It's, you know, an unknown to them, and that's been difficult. Right, so if we talk about what radio, you know, one of the reasons, you know, that this started too recently was after that church shooting in Texas. A friend of mine who goes to a local church was like, hey, we're setting up this little security thing and we need radios. What do you recommend? And I thought about it, and I thought, you know, they have those cheap Baofeng radios, and, you know, this just gets the conversation started so everybody can, you know, say I'm wrong or whatever, or, you know, talk about it, and that's discussion starter. But, you know, they have the cheap radios, and they have expensive ones like that, too, that just have 16 or 12 channels on top, and it's just a little dial next to the on-off switch that turns on these channels, and everything else is done through, you know, a programming cable, and it makes it kind of dummy-proof, and that's might be good for non-hams. And then you could just keep one in the car or in a little emergency kit, and it has a little plastic, you know, laminated, you know, card or a business card or something attached to it that says, turn it on and turn it to channel 1 or channel 2 or channel 3. So one of the examples I found was for an HT was a BF888S, 5-watt UHF, simple to use, 16 channels, Amazon, $79 for 6 of them. And the radios, you know, include the charger, the earpiece, everything. You know, somebody would have to program it with your desired frequencies. Probably put a better antenna on it, like a Nagoya or a, you know, Tyrone/Abri antenna. And the little card on it with simple instructions to use. And for instance, 462.7 is the Mount Vaca GRMS repeater. And then channel 2 could be a simplex channel. And then, you know, on the little card you could have a plan. Channel 1, then channel 2, then channel 3. If the power goes down, the repeaters will follow at some point, but you'll have a plan. They sell some mobile radios. They're probably unnecessary. Midland has a dedicated GRMS mobile. B-Tech has a dedicated GRMS mobile, but some of the illegal radios, you know, Chinese radios may do both. Ham radios, you could do a Mars mod. So the idea, this guy Alan was talking about was this layered approach where at least you could get some of your family members to, you know, at least have the capability. And, you know, those of us who are hams, we could use our more complicated radios to communicate, and then, you know, most of us would be able to communicate with those GRMS frequencies to pass information to them. And so it's kind of like this layered approach. And then, you know, maybe after they go through some event or need to use that or something, it's, you know, I call it a gateway radio. It's, you know, kind of like a drug, and it might lead to more hams. So, okay, and here comes the end of it. So what's our 2-meter crew plan? You know, should we, as a group, have a list of alternate repeaters in a tactical order, followed by some simplex or some HF? You know, for instance, we're usually on 3.3. And then we go to VVR, and then we go to 520, and then we go to 144.20, and then we go to 80 meters. So, all right. So this is the end of my ramble. Summer's coming. We're going to have more public safety power shutoffs.
or fires or who knows what. I don't even want to say, the ground will shake or whatever, but all right. So that was my little prepper speech, and turn it back over to the net for conversation. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of comments. All right, KM6, YKX, Rob in Auburn. I'm clear.
Nice job, Rob.
Robbie, thank you very much. That was very, I can tell you dug into that one quite a bit and a lot of great information. Brought up a couple of points I wouldn't have thought about. But man, thank you so much for doing that, first of all. And then questions or comments. Go ahead.
Comments?
Go ahead, comment.
Thanks, Carlos. It's W6CRP in the group, Can6BXX Michael from Carmichael. Hey, Rob, great presentation. Thank you very much. Couple things. One, speaking of GRMS, for those maybe you want to direct some folks to or just what the intimidation factor about GMRS. I found Midland. Of course, they make a lot of GMRS products, but Midland has a page of why do I need a GRMS license, how to get it. Nice explanation, the basic rules, and it looks like even links to applying for an FCC GRMS license, so it's pretty basic, pretty good, informative right there. So some for our families to find out, or unless you want to look at it yourselves. Again, Midland product, look at Midland, GRMS, and stuff like that. One more comment regarding power backup.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Carlos. Yeah, one thing I've tried to think about too, I don't know if Rob brought that up though, maybe I missed it, but one thing I like to see, I've got my Baofangs, I got an extra battery, that's great, but I'm thinking at home base station like I'm using right now. I guess I'm looking for some maybe backup power solutions where I'll have a battery near my base station, and some kind of intermediate charger / switch, so if the power goes off and I'm off the grid, I can still talk full power with my base station, which I'm using right now. And when I get the external 10, I'll be up to 65 watts. So that's something to bring up too. Again, backup power for your base station when you're loose power.
Yeah, good comment, Michael. Is be ready not just remotely, because if you lose power and everything, you're going to need to be ready right there at home. Any other comments or questions?
Comment again, just I guess maybe more question, Carlos.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess for me, as we're talking, I'm just trying to browse and look at some economical solutions. I guess there are different places to check out. There's just so many places as far as choices and costs and all that. I guess I think there's a place called West Mountain Radio. It seems like it's got some stuff. I'm just looking to see if we could have something that combines power and all that. Actually, one question I do have, the power backups used for computers, like the APC and all that, would that be compatible? Possibly. Is there any products that you just plug in and plug right into your like my Astron power supply? Is there solutions out there?
I'm not sure anybody out there have any experience with like the commercial power backup systems.
I know the UPS units aren't very great for ham radio. I had to pull mine out of the house because it was causing RFI on my HF rigs.
Okay, sorry about the cross. Yeah, thanks for the heads up on there. I guess I just have to look for some good solutions. That's maybe down the road. Just got to keep my budgetary priorities going, but that's something to think of long term. But yeah, thanks again, Carlos and group. Can't expect we'll be listening in. Have a great night, 7-3.
Yeah, I know the simplest for me so far has just been a deep cycle battery, and you can have it and keep it trickle charged, in line, ready to go. I haven't went further than that, but I've been thinking solar panels and then the deep cycle battery. Keep it simple has kind of always been my thing. Keep it working. Anybody else?
Hey, Carlos, KM6FAK.
Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add my 2 cents. Batteries are probably one of your best first lines of defense. deep cycle, ones that can handle it. You definitely want to look at a float charger opposed to a traditional charger that will just trickle 2 amps. You'll cook it to death. You want to look at something that floats. And, the other thing is water, what he touched on. And with that, I recently discovered a filtration system called Berkey, Berkey. They are very shiny. They're made out of stainless steel. They do have a plastic one, but it's a gravity-fed filter. Pour water up top. It then gravity feeds through this charcoal-type filter. And from what it says, it takes non-potable, makes it potable. So bacteria, all that stuff, good to go. As long as you obviously can get some kind of water source, that would be the big thing, because I think for us most recently, the PSPS, the PG, our utility company shutoff, for those that aren't locals, they potentially could affect our city water pumps. And if we lose water pressure, oh man, it's one thing to lose electricity and you can get generators, make do with batteries and just kind of go to bed when the sun goes down. But man, if we lose water, that is something, especially to drink. So I'm kind of always thinking about how to filter their water as well as stock it up. But anyways, wanted to throw that out there. Nice job, everyone. KM6FAK.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Any other comments or questions?
N6VLF.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I think the original question was to talk about how to do battery backup, and I agree with the individual about the UPSs. You got to modify those, which we won't get into tonight. But the deep cycle battery is a great way to do it, as long as you have like Jason and you mentioned, the smart charger. But another way to do it costs a little bit of money. I'm going to let it drop. Is one version is a West Mountain Radio.
I forgot to turn this off.
A device called the Epic Power Gate. It's designed as a 12-volt battery backup system, and it has a built-in smart charger. So what you'll do is you'll take let's say you have this is an example I can give you. On a repeater system, we have a 35 amp Astron power supply, and then it goes into this power gate, and then the power gate feeds the 2 or 3 radios, and then we have 2 large deep cycle batteries set up, and then you pick your maximum charge rate, and then the thing has a little processor in it. So what will happen is you'll power could go out, and then you operate your radios for an extended period of time and run your batteries down, and then your power comes back on, and now you're back on your power. Should have let it drop. Now you're back on your power supply, and the power gate with the smart charger, it brings your batteries up at a modest rate. I think they have different settings, like 3, 5, 10. I don't remember, so no hate mail, please. But different rates to bring them back up to full capacity, and then it goes back into the float mode and also the conditioning mode. But those things run between $150 and $180. But if you really want your station to be a no-brainer, something like that is kind of nice. That's what we use up on some of the smaller repeater systems, because I have to think about it. N6VLF.
Comment?
I'm just showing the Berkey water filter stuff.
Kevin.
Look at all this stuff it filters.
Thanks, Kevin. KN6VXX. I looked at West Mountain Radio, too. I see what he's talking about. I saw it before, too. Looking about 150, 200 range, but the Epic looks like the one that'd be used for lithium batteries. The other one I'm not sure about, but it looks nice. It's something good to consider for charging and be ready in case.
So if you look at the gallons, 3,000 gallons per filter, 6,000 total, you get 2. The price of $200 and whatever it said dollars, it seems high, but look at 6,000 gallons. It actually is decent. I know it's expensive. I hate that good stuff's expensive.
I don't have the instructions in front of me, but some of those have a setting in them that you can pick between the different chemistries on the battery. That's the more expensive ones do. So anyways, just double check whatever you have before you buy something that expensive. Make sure it'll charge the batteries you have. N6 VLF.
All right, any other last comments or questions?
Comment?
Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, this is Nick, K6DAL. I just wanted to mention, I know I'm kind of far away, but I have a West Mountain power gate, and I don't have much of a use for it, so I'll just throw it out to anybody down there. I'm not really in a hurry to visit, but I am interested at some point in getting that Raspberry Pi, and but I don't have a radio to hook up to it. So if anybody knew of someone that could use the power gate and wanted to maybe trade me for some kind of working radio that I could use as a node, an AllStar node to get set up with to get one of those nodes set up, I would be interested in maybe trading, because I don't really have a use for the power gate. So if anybody had a better use for it, I'd be willing to give it up. So I'm just throwing it out there.
So a lot of stuff going on here, people. Thanks for hanging in there.
That was a double most of the way through. I believe it was an EchoLink double. Nick, could you go ahead real quick and short recap?
Yeah, KN6DAL, I'm just throwing out there that West Mountain power gate that Kevin had mentioned. I actually have one of those, and I don't really have much of a use for it right now. It's just sitting in a box. It's in really good condition, and I am looking at some point to get a Raspberry Pi and get a radio, because I don't have a radio for it, to get a node set up. So if somebody had a use for the power gate and had a radio lying around that they wanted to trade and maybe put both of those things to better use at some point, I could mail it off. So just throwing that out there to anybody in the crew that needed it or wanted to look into that, they can get a hold of me. KN6DAL.
All right, thanks, Nick. And you guys all heard that. If you want to get a hold of Nick, it's KM6DAL. And the other double that was back there, you were talking about, I heard a Generac home setup on a 200-gallon propane tank, I think. Go ahead and come back.
Thank you. This is KK6RQD. Yes, I use power gates in my Go kits with lithium iron phosphate batteries from Bio. They work great, and they have a lot of amp hours on them, 15 amp hours on an ICOM 2730, for example. My shack is backed up with a Generac Guardian with a 200-gallon LP gas tank to feed it, and I run it many, many days, even weeks, continuous duty, and it'll do everything but 220, so I can't run my amplifier, but I can run everything else in the shack. Just throwing that out there.
That was interesting. He was coming over.
That sounds like the complete
AllStar
node. Ed. Well, all right. I think I'm going to wrap this one up. We're a bit longer than we normally are, but Robbie, man, that was an excellent and informative presentation again. I truly thank you. And folks, that's this net is the anti-net. We just kind of wing it, check in, see what everybody's doing, what activities or plans the 2-meter crew might be trying to get out there on, and we try to learn a little bit about communications, right? So it helps if folks have something you want to talk about. Man, I almost feel bad because Robbie kind of just knocked it out of the park. It doesn't have to be that elaborate. Everybody else will probably be too
Yes, it does.
to try to do one now. Something short and sweet. Let me know, and I would truly appreciate it for a topic during one of the nets. I'm going to let this drop.
Oh, no. A new bar was set tonight. Yes. Excellent job, Rob.
Yes, very good. And let me see.
That's
so we
a
talked
double.
a little bit about summer camp out. We'll keep kicking that around for some dates up Auburn way. Breakfast, we're thinking around February 29th. I'll put something out on that. We had 28 check-ins tonight, and Tennessee, Louisiana, Oregon. We had some folks from on out there. Pretty cool stuff. But I appreciate it. Any last comments or questions? I'm going to wrap the net up.
All right, I doubled over there, Carlos.
Alrighty, did you guys hear any of that?
Yeah, we heard you, Carlos.
I heard you.
Alright, good. I didn't want to repeat it. Any last comments or questions before we get off here?
Quick comment again, Carlos. And Rob, thanks again. It was a great presentation. I know it was concerned about timing or worry about other people competing with a great presentation, but it's not a problem. Whatever we have on our minds, whatever the topic, whatever time it takes, so be it. And again, Rob, great presentation. Food for thought. Can6BXX. Have a good night.
Let him go ahead and do it. I'll catch you next week. WE6CD. Alrighty, anything else?
Just want to know if Nick is still out there. Well, I mean, you could secure the net. I'm sorry. I can wait for after that. But Nick, you going to stick around a minute?
Yeah, I'll hang out for a minute.
A little bit of a
Alright,
delay
very good. Sounds like Nick will hang
when you
out
use
for a minute.
EchoLink.
Well, again, excellent net. And Robbie, can't thank you enough. That was awesome. So I'll be closing the 2-meter crew anti-net. This is Whiskey 6 CRP. And again, Back Valley Radio Club, thank you for the use of the repeater. Good night.
Cam6YKX, Can6BXX, are you still on?
Alrighty, let's see here. Let me get my face up. Ooh, I did a fade in. Okay, everyone, that wraps up our weekly net. We call this the anti-net. You know, I don't know if my words are matching the video. I still need to tune this in. Like I said, this is the first time I hit the public button, as they call it on YouTube. I've been doing this for, I don't know, 5 or so weeks. But I do unlisted, and I share it amongst us here in the local area. But recently, with the addition to EchoLink on the repeater and AllStar, I thought, hey, what the heck? I think I have it just about figured out. I sure could use a little bit more internet, but we only dropped out once. I think I'm holding about 720. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, if it's worth me to keep doing this. And every Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Pacific time, that's what time this happens. And we'll see if we can't make this a thing. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. It'd be great if I could Skype in a few people. That would be way cool. Then you could see their heads, because it's pretty boring to look at a static screen. But anyways, 7-3, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Now I just have to hit a button somewhere here. Aha. End stream.